It's time to get your morning started with the news you need to know.
News update.
This is what's trending with DJ and PK. Hashtag Utah Jazz.
Defensively, their cutting had us spinning like a top the entire game, and it resulted in a lot of catch-and-shoot threes. Credit to Golden State. You know, they played with a ton of energy and force. We looked slow, sloppy, run down. That's how you get a result like that.
There's Will Hardy on why the Jazz gave up 140 points. Bad even by their standards, and they give up the most points in the league. They're the worst team defensively, and that was a bad night. 140, 124, unless you want a lottery pick, and then I guess it's a good night, PK.
Yeah, it's amazing how it's a bad night when the other team shoots the ball well.
Yeah, well, the other team shoots the ball well because they got guys wide freaking open. I mean, the Warriors are going to shoot the ball well when they're that wide open. And layups, just strolling in there for layups, one after another. They're not going to miss layups.
But I go to the threes.
The threes are wide open. I mean, they're two steps late to close out on everybody.
And the Warriors were just a ball hog defensively, and the Jazz got a bunch of contested threes.
They were better defensively, and they shoot wide open threes better than the Jazz do. So the combination of both things.
I agree.
There wasn't a lick of intensity in the second half of that game.
I don't
both
think
teams
there was
were
in
just,
the first half.
You're probably right about that. Both teams just coasting the
President
finish.
Kerr never even stood up once.
No, and at one point they cut to him, and somebody says something over his shoulder, and he's just
They knew they had the game.
Yeah.
Everybody knows what it's about.
Yep.
And you're expecting something different?
Yeah, some nights I get something different. That's 17 games over 130 points.
You were expecting something different last night.
No, I expected the Warriors to win. I don't know if I expected 140. I thought it would be more competitive and more intense just because the Jazz played their guys. I mean, Markkanen played, Nurkic played, Keontae played. Those are the three guys that they sit when they're intentionally trying to lose. When those guys
are
sitting,
defensive ball hogs,
Yeah.
man. They are stoppers. They're right there. Those guys, they could have replaced Jordan, Pippen, and Rodman. On the defensive intensity.
They really couldn't, but we all appreciate your overstatement. But it makes them bigger. I mean, when they run the tiny lineup out there and everybody's running around at 6'7" or whatever.
What difference does it make if you're shooting threes, what size you are?
It's easier to shoot over guys. Even if they close out on you, if you're 3 or 4 inches taller than a guy, it's easier to close out. They don't have to play the 3-guard lineup. But they were coasting. But there's 34 of these to go, and then we can move on. Jazz will face the Nets tomorrow night at the Delta Center. Tip-off at 7:30. DJ and PK.
Hashtag NBA.
Well, it's been 2 or 3 years of speculation, but the Bucks are finally beginning to listen to trade proposals centered around moving superstar Giannis Antetokoumnpo ahead of the NBA trade deadline next week. No guarantee he'll be moved. This might drag on into the summer. In the offseason, people might have a little more cap room, and going into the draft, they'll know who has the best draft picks and who doesn't. But Giannis apparently ready to move on. Do you think it matters at this point, or do you think he's no longer elite, top 2 or 3 player in the game?
So, I mean, you answered your own question right
Well,
there.
I think the history of his career says he is, but I don't know that he is now.
Well,
I mean,
you just called him superstar.
Well, he's been an MVP and a champion, so I don't mind calling him a superstar.
Okay.
But I don't know that he plays at a superstar level in the playoffs anymore. So
you call him a superstar, but you don't know if he's a superstar.
Yeah, well, Magic Johnson's a superstar and he doesn't play anymore. So, yes, you get to a superstar level. You know what I'm getting at. Just move on. You do, too.
I know what you think you're getting at, but either you're a superstar now. I don't care if Oscar Robertson was a superstar. We understand that. But that doesn't make him a super. I'm talking about now. Is he a superstar player? Because a superstar player requires a certain amount of return. Is he a superstar or not?
At this point, if I were trading for him, I would treat him like he's the second best player on the championship team, because I don't think he's the best player on a championship team.
Neither do I.
Anymore.
So that's why I wouldn't call him a superstar,
Right.
man. You got all caught up in how to call him a superstar or whatever. Either you're a superstar or you're not. I don't think he is.
Rockets starting center Steven Adams, season-ending surgery on his left ankle. All done.
Now, he's a superstar.
More time for Capella. He's actually the backup, but...
You just called him starting center. My gosh, I've had enough of you. You just said Houston starting center.
I did.
And now you just said he's a backup. You call him a superstar, but he's not a superstar. Your whole emphasis today is to drive me nuts. I finally figured it out.
I could live with that.
Right. That is your intention. You're mixing and matching words because you know I'm a wordsmith, and you are. Why don't you just? Oh my gosh!
It's a stupid positionless basketball, and him and Sengun and
Oh, you just said more time for Capella. He's not even on the team.
Sengun.
You said more time for Capella.
He's the third string guy, and now he's going to get one.
We've gone from starter to back up to third string. This is awesome.
Steven Adams started 11 of his 32 games. He's a sometime starter. There, fine.
A part-time starter?
Yeah. Okay, part-time starter.
So am I.
Clint Capella's going to have to play more. And Boston Celtics star Jason Tatum said he has not made a decision on whether he will return from his torn Achilles tendon to play this season or if he's going to opt to sit out and resume playing come the start of next season. When are you really healthy? When can you really cut loose in a game? Not think about it and it can respond. No idea.
Well, I think that would be an individual thing, right?
Yeah, I would assume so. DJ and PK.
Hashtag college basketball.
Boys. Down go the Wyoming Cowboys. Utah State blowing them out 94-62 at home. The Aggies in control at halftime. That was an easy win, PK. Now they set themselves up for San Diego State. Big game with the first place Aztecs on the weekend.
I'm just going to have to defer to you. You do the Aggie podcast, man. You know way more.
Scotty G and I, wherever you get YouTube, whatever.
Yeah. Podcast world is crowded.
Yeah, there it is. San Diego State also won. They crushed Colorado State at home. So those two got easy W's at home to set themselves up for the big game on Saturday morning, actually, 11 a.m.
Well, I think the question that needs to be answered, is this a multiple bid league?
What do you think?
I don't know. You're the expert, not me.
No.
Because if it's a multiple bid league, then that game isn't as big as you want to make it out to be.
It's usually a multiple bid league. I assumed it was this year, but I don't think anybody's clinched anything yet. It's 17-3. The Aggies, they could lose games and not make the tournament. I hadn't really considered.
No doubt about it.
Yeah, I hadn't really considered that. It's more, can you get the resume? And this would be a big time win. San Diego State's probably set up a little better because of the way their schedule. They played Arizona and Michigan. That's going to pump up their numbers big time, even though they lost those games.
Because if it's a one-bid league...
Then it's all about the tournament?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
DJ and PK.
Hashtag NFL.
I don't understand it. I mean, I was with them every day. If he's not a first ballot Hall of Famer, there's really no coach that should ever be a first ballot Hall of Famer, which is completely ridiculous because people deserve it. And he's incredible. There's no coach I'd ever want to play for. I'd rather play for. If I'm picking one coach to go out there to win a Super Bowl, give me one season, I'm taking Bill Belichick. So that's enough said. There's nothing outside of that. Again, when it comes down to votes and popularity and all that, then welcome to the world of voting. And you may as well go, try out for the Oscars or whatever and, get a big panel to tell you if you're good or not.
That's Tom Brady and Bill Belichick not making the Pro Football Hall of Fame in his first try.
Well, that's first world problems, but at the same time, anytime you introduce judges, I agree with him. The Oscars, I couldn't tell you any Oscar winner of anything. I couldn't pay less attention to that. But, that's what you get. When it's some form of vote.
Stuff's going to happen.
Right. That's why I'm always turned off with sports when it's voting. You should have a bracket that decides it. I don't need a committee. Committee can set up the actual bracket. That's fine. But who gets in? You're always going to have that.
And I've seen more voters talk about now, hey, I think Roger Craig should be in, but if Roger Craig's near the end of his eligibility and I have a limited number of votes, even if I think there's a bunch of people who should get in, I'm going to vote for Roger Craig, and the people are just starting out, I'm like, well, I'll try to pick them up next year. So
Roger
sounds like a flawed process.
Gets better as he draws nearer to the end. That doesn't make any sense.
I agree with that, but that goes back to your point about voting, and that the people who are voting are like, this hasn't made any sense, and that guy has to get in, whoever that guy is. I used Roger Craig as an example because that's what I saw used, and he was on the ballot this time.
When you say that guy, that makes me nervous. That brings me back to the Caleb rep when the coach told you that guy, and you said that guy. And I have anxiety when you say that guy. Don't do that.
That guy is a starting center and a superstar.
Say this guy.
This guy?
I feel better.
Woo!
I feel better right there.
Yeah, that's not my goal this morning, so that guy.
I think it's your goal every morning. You're trying to drive me out. We all know it.
According to reports, oh boy, former New York Giants quarterback Eli Manning did not receive enough votes for induction in his second year of eligibility for the Hall of Fame. Manning, two-time Super Bowl champion turned broadcaster, obviously. So now we got to worry about second year of eligibility guys, too.
Yeah, it's why I don't sleep at night.
And all these multimillionaires who aren't getting the flowers on top of their money.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Patriots listed Drake May as questionable ahead of their first practices for the Super Bowl. Throwing shoulder, banged up. That's a technical medical term. Banged up. Some low-grade separation. What's he got? Team is monitoring his reps. Uh-oh, he's on a pitch count. He's on a pitch count. Does that give you agita? That ought to. You've heard quarterbacks on pitch counts. That's not usually a good thing.
Off. You can monitor your reps or just hand off.
Broncos quarterback Bo Nix said he felt terrible, very helpless watching his team lose Sunday's AFC Championship game just days after his surgery to repair a fractured right ankle. But he said his long-term health, no concerns. Nix said the doctor told him his recovery would be 4 to 6 weeks, and then he can start training again. No fears of the injury impacting his play going forward.
Great news.
DJ and PK.
#golf.
PGA Tours at Torrey Pines this week for the Farmers Insurance Open. Brooks Koepka will tee it up for the first time after rejoining the PGA Tour in recent weeks. And, of course, the news breaking yesterday, Patrick Reed is going to rejoin the tour. That's still a few months away, but later this summer, he'll be out.
August 26th.
Yeah.
I thought Koepka was not till August. Now he's playing today?
Yep. Tony Finau, Patrick Fishburne in the field at Torrey Pines. So
Finau's 0 for 2 on the cuts.
A slow start. Think more of these LIV guys are coming back? It's just when their contract's up now? Play out the contract on the LIV Tour and then come back? Or
Well,
you think some of them
I don't know.
out?
There's so many no-name dudes there.
Of the big name guys who won majors that we care about.
Right.
I wonder what you thought John Rahm, and you read a lot of golf stuff that I don't read, so I don't know if you'd seen something on Rahm. I didn't know if you'd seen something on
I see no reason
DeChambeau.
for those types of players to play over there.
Right.
It's like last night. Last night, I could have found more intensity at the local rec than I would have had in the Delta Center. It's just that last night looked like an exhibition. It almost looked like a borderline All-Star game. And that's essentially what you're getting in the LIV. Where is the intensity? Where is the purpose beyond simply playing golf for the love of playing golf, which is awesome.
Right.
But
we're used to seeing a little more.
You're trying to compete for history. You're not going to find it on the LIV. You're going to find it exclusively on the PGA. And this is the way it is.
DJ and PK.
#NHL.
I like our trajectory right now. I like the way we play. I like the way we're progressing. I don't want to look too far ahead or too far back. Just want to stay in the moment, stay in the present. And that will be a hell of a game in Carolina, tough opponent. So let's make sure tomorrow we have a good rest and get ready. That's a swing game. We win that. That's a hell of a trip.
There's the head coach, Andre Tourney. They've already taken 4 points. How about 5 or 6?
How about it?
Hell of a trip.
I mean, anytime I leave home, my whole goal is to have a hell of a trip. Right?
Doesn't matter if you're going down the street or to
I
another
meant
time
out of
zone.
state. If I'm going on a trip, I want it to be a hell of a trip, right? Who don't?
Once you hit I-15, no excuses. Hell of a
Or
trip.
the friendly skies. Yeah.
Or don't come home.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going south. I'm going north. I'm going east. I'm going west. I got it covered. You can't go any other way. I want it to be a hell of a trip. And so the Bear laying it out there. They win tonight. That'd be a hell of a trip. That's a fact. And good for them, man. They got some mojo going. And string it out. For this team, there's nothing wrong with peaking in March. Because if you peak in March, and they're going to have most of February off, that's why I didn't say that. But even if you peak now, maybe now's a little too early, but continue it, because if you get in the playoff and lose the first round, they'll spin it as a success. Because nobody said, we want to win in the playoffs. Maybe they did, and I didn't hear it, but the whole stated goal was, we want to get to the playoffs. So if that's your stated goal, which has been the stated goal now, if you get there, obviously you want to win, but if you don't, you still met your stated goal.
Stack up the points. It doesn't matter when. The postseason beckons. Carolina tonight, that's a division leader, good team.
Yeah, so was the last game.
Yep.
And if I had to bet today, I'd say yes, they're in.
Yeah, well, the last game was the defending Cup champs, but not the first place team. The last loss, Tampa Bay, was a first place team.
That was still a heck of a.
It was still a well played game, and they lost on a couple power play goals.
And
the whole trip's been awesome.
Any win for them,
they
all add up the same.
Yep, true. 2 points at a time. Put them in the bank. Cole Bagley's going to be here at 8:30 to talk more about the Mammoth, and we will talk with him then, and with Matt Tate covering the Kansas Jayhawks. At 9 o'clock with BYU headed to Kansas for a big game Saturday afternoon. DJ and PK, that is what is trending, brought to you by Shamrock Plumbing. There's no job too big or too small. Get the personal touch with Shamrock Plumbing. The question of the day is next. Stay with us.
This is Jake Scott and Ben Anderson.
But Keontae George and his career high 43, 15 of 28. That was an efficient 43, if there is such a thing. He continues to be the story of the season for the Jazz by a mile.
For the first time last night, Will Hardy called Keontae a star. I don't think I've heard him call him that before. He said,
our fans are watching, one of our own grow in front of their eyes, and, he's really turning into a star.
Coaches can prop up their players, coaches can pat them on the back, but for him to call him a star, I think does just kind of give you some insight on how the Jazz are now viewing their basketball team. The Jazz know Lowry's a star, and they view Keontae as a star, and they're going to go try and find a third piece or whatever they have to pair next to him, or maybe Ace Bailey can develop into it.
I'm telling you, when they have the green light to make it happen, they're a good enough team to win 40 games.
Catch Jake and Ben weekdays from 10 to noon on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
DJ PK, it is time for Hot Takes or Toast. The question of the day. Giannis Antetokoumnpo is big game. Should the Jazz go big game hunting? Cody is on board. Yes, with an exclamation point. He's got a lot of enthusiasm for a 31-year-old with calf problems. No one else really does. It's pretty heavy on the nose here, PK. Nope, they'll have to give up at least 3 of the young guys in Lowry plus a draft pick to get him. And then who are we putting around him?
Okay, but then why would DA say they were going big game hunting? Because that would be something you would do no matter who it is. He's the latest big gamer to be out there. But if you're going to go big game hunting, wouldn't that require basically the same types of packages, interchange a few individuals here and there? I understand that. But the premise being that if you want to go big game hunting, you're going to have to give them something else. And that's just the way it works. So how's that any different from any? So then basically, this is not particular. We're using
Giannis as an example.
Because he's the latest.
Yep.
But it is more about the idea of doing it. You're complaining about the team not winning, blah, 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 and all of a sudden these young players in marketing become untouchable?
That doesn't really make any sense, nor do I believe they're untouchable.
I know, but you said most of the folks there, them folks is stupid.
Jeremy, too old.
31.
Jared, no! Stick with the plan. Hashtag tank on.
See, now all of a sudden, yeah. And they complain about it, and now, whoa, man, yeah, I don't know about giving up this guy. That's a little bit of incongruence.
I think a good question we should not gloss over that you just asked is why would Danny Ainge talk about the big game hunting? Because while Giannis isn't the biggest game, he's big game.
He is big game.
He's still big game.
Yeah.
And I think the answer to that is, well, look at where the team was when he said it And look where the team is now. And I think that when he said that, I think he thought they'd be further along now. They haven't been able to make trades.
Without making trades?
I think he thought they'd be further along, maybe because of trades or maybe because they'd hit in the draft and got someone who's really good right out of the gate. You know, Oklahoma City and San Antonio are winning with pretty young guys. But the Jazz guys aren't that good at that age. The Jazz young guys are more projects long-term. So I don't know if he thought, hey, we're going to hit on a guy who's going to be able to come and play at a really high level at 22 years old. Or if he thought, hey, we're going to be hitting on guys in the draft, but I'm also going to be able to make a trade or two to move this thing along. And neither one of those things has happened. They haven't made trades that have sped up the timeline, which I really thought they were going to. Of all the things I've been wrong about over the last 4 years, including superstars and starting centers, man, have I been wrong about that. I thought Trader Danny was going to come in and be able to make trades, and the league's kind of locked up by money apparently. So that has not happened.
That applies across to everyone then.
Yeah,
it's not just him.
Well, there've been some quiet trade deadlines in that. So you got that, and then if they'd gotten the 1 or 2 pick and had somebody who was really good, who was more of a finished product, but I mean these guys are huge projects, if that, maybe they just miss or they're role players.
I think part of the reason it's their own fault that the process hasn't moved along more. I mean, you basically had George playing even, if not behind, Clarkson and Sexton last year. Why? It makes no sense. Those guys weren't going to go anywhere.
Well, they were out of town in a giveaway trade.
They're not going to take you
They're
anywhere.
not going to take the Jazz anywhere, 100%, yeah.
And Sexton, he's a bowl of energy and all, but he didn't even start on a losing team. I mean, what is he? He's a
guy, when you don't have a good bench, you put him out there and tell him, let's trade buckets while you play while we rest the starters, and that's I think, going to be his role.
He's never won anything.
Nope.
He's never been on a playoff team.
He is not. He and Markkanen are 1-2 in the league. Most games played with active, not all time, but
so in a sense they stifled the development of George by having these other guys on the team. And John Collins, why? You hung on to him too long. You're asking for a first-round pick? Ford Scally said he wanted to be a running back. And Kyle said, well, I want to play center field for the Angels.
What a great conversation.
And neither one of them was going to happen. Move to defensive back, son.
Go be all conference.
And you'll blow up.
Go be the conference MVP.
Yeah. So
have a perfect season.
I want first-round picks for everybody, but you're not going to get them. So they need to take accountability. Why'd you wait so long?
Because they always thought they were going to get something, and they didn't. And you can go back to moving Mike Conley. Same thing. Get on with it. Are you going to get that much?
Right.
But you start 10-3 with him, and then you've wrecked where you fall in the draft order.
Yeah, I'd have to go back. I don't even remember where they fell in the draft order there and who was available and who wasn't available. I'm just looking at the guys on the team now, and maybe George would be further along, although you could argue, well, whoop-de-doo, is he going to make any more wins? He's further along. He's still only 22. He's progressing at a good clip. That's what matters the most. I don't know that I thought they were going to be further along. I can't say, nor can I say, oh my gosh, they should be where they want to be. Or they should be closer to where they want to be. Because the fact is, you're going to have to hit on 3 drafts. Unless you get the ultimate dude at the top. But that ultimate dude, you didn't. Maybe the closest to the ultimate dude is Big Vic.
Yeah.
But that's only one of 3. So
right, and they ended up drafting 1, 2, and 4. They had 2 other really high picks.
You're talking to the Spurs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, with Castle and with Harper.
And but those are nice players, but we don't know what they are.
No, but you put them around Big Vic, and you develop a few other guys, and look at them. They're 32 and 15.
Right.
But They drafted
but
one.
But they also traded for De'Aaron Fox.
They did.
And they got some veterans there.
Yep.
Johnson's a veteran. So I don't know that. And those are ping pong balls breaking your way.
Yeah.
How do I criticize the Jazz because ping pong balls didn't break their way? That doesn't make any sense.
Nope.
The one year they tried it, literally the worst record ever.
They slid back to 5.
Yeah.
They didn't get 1, 2, or 4.
Right.
And the Spurs got all of those things.
Yeah.
So luck is part of the equation.
Right. So I can't hold them
that's
accountable for bad ping pong balls.
The Spurs going to get you don't know the order the stuff is going to happen in, so you kind of have to strike when the opportunity is there. So maybe that's part of the logic of bringing in some of the veterans. Why go acquire Collins? Well, he's a much better player than he shows. You get him, you get somebody up, but they didn't get their Wembanyama to go, so you got to move on from Collins then and just move on.
Well, Collins was worth a try.
Yes, because they gave up so little, and
Right.
he'd been really good, and then it wasn't making sense, but it wasn't working. Clearly, it wasn't working in Atlanta.
And he's okay.
Yeah.
He's on a winning. Oh, well, not winning yet, record-wise.
It'll be on a winning team soon.
Yeah.
But again, he has to have the star player there. He's not good enough to
No, he's
to
not.
carry him.
He's not.
But he's a good piece.
And maybe
when you have
DA
Kawhi.
thought that he could get something for him. It was worth a fly.
Yeah, I did think a little bit of the old flipping houses thing. Some people buy houses not to live in them, but
Right.
hey, we're going to fix it up and we're going to flip it. And I thought John Collins kind of fits that. He's the house you buy that, hey, we can fix this house up and it'll be worth something.
Yeah, and so they didn't necessarily make money, but they didn't lose money.
Nope. What they lost was a little bit of playing time that could have gone to somebody else. But would that have moved anyone along? I mean,
Well, at his position, no.
right.
Because who do they have that was deserving?
Well, even playing positionless basketball and just saying one of the bigger players and you can slide guys around.
Who?
I know. I mean, it's Markkanen, who they're trying not to play. It's Kessler, who's been hurt, so that stops everything.
And those guys were playing.
Yeah.
And Hardy doesn't think enough to play Hendricks in a blowout.
Yeah, Hendricks had a year where he was hurt, so whatever Collins played last year, that didn't matter. Hendricks
Right.
couldn't play.
Right.
And now he's clearly struggling. And Cody was struggling big time last year, so
Right.
they've never had enough bigs that it mattered that much.
Right. It's more the guard line.
Yeah.
But George has made such significant strides that that's okay.
And I don't know that it was the playing time that really unlocked him. I mean, certainly that helps and all that, but his attitude is so different. Whatever he did for, counseling.
Yeah, but that's
in the summer.
fine. But you have to have progression,
Yeah.
and he has seen improvement.
Massive.
And so that
Yeah.
has instilled more confidence in him.
Yep, and that feeds into the
Right,
yeah.
but you have to have the opportunity. It's the chicken and egg. What comes first? And so I think he goes into the season knowing I'm going to get more time because the two guys that took my time away are gone. So before the first ball went up in the first game, he had more confidence because he knew my time is now. He knew it. And I think that led, and then he had success, and then you build upon that, and away you go. And you got something there.
So if Giannis was, if we move this kind of deal, because we're looking at what kind of big game hunting will they do, at what point? If Giannis were 3 years younger and hadn't had a series of calf injuries. Now, there's nobody like that available right now, so I guess what does that matter? But what does it take to trigger them to do something?
To me, he's good enough to try to get. You look at reading all the stuff. Oh, the Warriors have the best package. 4 unprotected firsts and Butler, and we'll give you Kuzma and Yanni. Why is the Warrior? Why is that the best? If that's the best
package, then they're not going to do anything now, and this is going to play out into the summer.
That's not a good package.
Right.
You're worried about a 31-year-old? Butler, by the time next season plays, when he'll be back, he'll be 37. And he's been somewhat of a malcontent.
There have been multiple places where he's ended up unhappy at some point.
Yeah.
3 so far.
And
yeah,
that's the best package?
Minnesota, Philly, and Miami. I don't know. I don't know that there is a good enough package out there. And the Knicks, maybe? Can the Knicks put something together? It seems like it has to be a team that is close enough to winning because you just can't sit around and wait. I mean, the Jazz aren't that close to winning. He's 31 now, but they're not going anywhere this season. So I think he's got a December birthday, so he turns 32 in the middle of next season. If that'd be the first year, it's got to be a team that's
32
closer.
Doesn't bother me.
Giving up 4 draft picks? How many years you getting and how many years you giving up? Is it worth it? Or maybe people will sit around and the price comes down a little bit.
The price isn't very high to begin with.
4 first rounds? That seems high to me.
So you like the Warrior offer. I don't. I just said that's not good enough. Because the Warriors are talking about 4 unprotected first-round picks.
You want players, and this is where deals will be different because the players can speed things up. And to your point, Butler's not going to speed things up. Waiting for the draft picks. I mean, it's it'd be 4 picks, right? Every other year. So you're waiting 5 years to make a draft pick and 5 years for a guy to get better. I mean, that's a long way out.
Okay, so are the picks valuable or not?
Yes.
To the Jazz right now.
I think the picks right now have more value for the Jazz than if they use them on Giannis.
But you just told me I got to wait 5 years. So now I'm year 9 of this rebuild. No.
I think they'll trade the picks at some point, but not here. I get your point.
Yeah, I don't know who you're going to get anything that's better than Yanni.
They're dreaming championship, and he seems to be on the downhill slide of his career. Injuries are eating him up here. And he hasn't been great in the playoffs lately. I mean, they won the championship, but he hasn't been great in the playoffs lately when he's played.
And the picks that they have gotten them
nowhere.
Nothing.
Yeah.
So, and now I'm going to trade you more picks. So, I mean, everyone is frustrated with we're just waiting on some picks. And if it doesn't work this year, the hell with
it. They got to go for it next year. They got to just see how many games you can win next year. Play everybody as many times as they're healthy.
Yeah.
No more tanking.
Right, because if you don't get a top 3 pick this year, it's not going to happen. Because you're asking
and if it does
too much.
Yeah.
And if I'm Hardy, I'm out. If he's just such a brilliant coach that all these paid Jazz employees tell us he is, then get another job. Resign. When are we going to start winning? I'm out. Get somebody else in. I've had enough. I can only scream at these guys so much. And at that point, screaming at them some more, they're just going to tune me out.
Yep.
So it's now or never. That's the deal with Yanni. To go, he's not get on my back guy and I'm going to take you to the top, but he can make you better. Particularly if you don't have to give up Markkanen or George. Is there anybody else that's really something that you've got to protect at all costs?
I can see where people would want Kessler.
Have him.
Yeah. But at all costs.
If I don't have to give up George or Markkanen, who cares?
DJ PK, it's 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Coming up, Steph Curry. Where does he rank on the list of all-timers? We'll get to that at 8 o'clock. Stay with us.
Hey, bro. You hear us every day with our crazy opinions.
Hey, what you doing?
Well, now it's time to hear from you.
Hey, great show.
Download the KSL Sports app and fire off your thoughts with the call-in tab on the bottom of your screen.
This show is fantastic. It's the one that captivates me the most.
You can tell PK to stop singing.
She bangs.
Let Jake and Ben know what you really think of the Jazz. Woo! Tell Hans and Scotty about your favorite barbecue spot or what color of tie JJ should be wearing on TV. The best entries will be played on the air. Download the KSL Sports app now and hit the call-in button to let your voice be heard.
I think you guys do an incredible job.
This is 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Join the Zone and JJ and Alex at the Boat Show this Friday from 3 to 6 at the Mountain America Expo Center in Sandy. This is your opportunity to shop, compare, and buy the boat of your dreams. See you Friday for the biggest event of the year for boating enthusiasts.
Climb aboard!
You asked a good question earlier in the show. Is the Mountain West a 3-bid league?
I said multiple. I didn't say
multiple. Okay. Utah State, right now, Ken Pomeroy's got him at 30. That'd put him well inside the tournament. Usually his top 40 are good to go. But I guess they can play their way out there. I mean, things go poorly. You drop a couple games. They're not like a lock right now. And he's got New Mexico on the bubble at 42.
Like a rock.
Yeah. How many Big 12 teams you got already penciled in?
14.
I was going to say a half dozen, but 14 seems like a big number.
How many Big 12 teams? Well, I really only care about one.
BYU's going to make it.
Yeah, and Utah isn't.
Right.
If Utah was in the running, I would care about two. I don't care if anybody else makes it. I want those two to make it. But I believe that history matters in this case. They can say it doesn't, but I don't buy it. I believe it does. So,
well, the Mountain West has usually been a multiple bid league, and they've got 3 teams that have set themselves up pretty well here. But they got to see it out. They got another month to go. And it's the biggest games. It's the most pressure. Some people say college basketball starts when you get to conference play. Other people say it starts when you get to the Super Bowl. After football's done. Then I'll pay attention.
Yeah, but
they got to build their resumes the whole time.
Yeah. I'd say minimum 6, possibly 7, doubtful 8.
See if those bubble teams can get big wins down the stretch.
Yeah, the great thing about the Big 12 is it provides you with so many opportunities that in many conferences you don't get.
Right. TCU, West Virginia, UCF, they can all dream right now. They got work to do, but they got enough tough games on their schedule. Yeah. If they start rolling, they can be in. And
I think Jonathan Tavanari, he loves to talk, and he was on somebody, I think JJ and Alex, talking about they don't have a marquee win, speaking of the Cougars. I don't know that they need one to get in, but if you want the seed, obviously. But if you only get one, is that going to make a big difference? I mean, they got a lot of decent wins, and in this situation, too, the college situation being that if you have marquee losses, that helps because they reward you for just the opportunity to play tough games.
For playing a 3-point game with Arizona. You can say there's no moral victories. But
yeah, but I don't think that one, though.
Because it was at home?
No, because it's a conference scheduled game. You're not
so it's
stepping
more about,
out to play them. You're assigned to play them.
So it's more about going and playing Clemson.
I think
who's second in the ACC.
I think Villanova. I think Wisconsin. I think Miami. I'll even give them a little bit with Dayton. Yeah. So they went out and did those things that they didn't necessarily have to do. And then the conference being as strong as it is, you got to get some of them, right? Because there's so many opportunities. And they've got another opportunity Saturday afternoon, obviously, at Kansas. And then in next week, they've got Houston coming to town. That gives you another opportunity. So you have 3 gold and 4 opportunities, basically going back to Tech, 4 weeks in a row. There's not many conferences that provide. I'm talking about big opportunities, massive opportunities. So you've got to get some of them. You can't go, and whatever. And then obviously in a couple of weeks after that, you've got Arizona in Tucson. And if you play that game, if you go there and you have a game similar to Monday night, well, that's going to give you some credit. So if you're playing the Cats and the Cats are 24-0, 25-0, and you've lost to both games to them by a combined 7 points, that helps your cause, right?
There's no way around it.
Yeah, and then after you do the Cats, you come back and you got Iowa State. So you got so many opportunities.
And Tech's the finale at home.
And then I believe they do close with Tech.
They do.
March 6th or 7th, whenever that is. And so you've got all those opportunities. And along the way, you've got decent opportunities too. UCF, I'm not following them super close, but they've got a decent record. West Virginia's got a decent record. Yep. TCU got beat last night, but they still have a decent record. And Oklahoma State has a decent record for that matter too, but they're not very good in conference, so I'm not really sure how good they are. So you've got 5 great opportunities, and you got 2 or 3 pretty good opportunities. And then it shuffles out. If you lose all of those games, well, you're in big trouble. You may make the tournament, but you're going to be seeded to go home early. Now, I'm assuming they're not going to lose all those games, obviously.
I think we're all assuming that.
Right. And so we see where the dust settles. But the cool thing about it is you've set yourself up to everybody plays a slew of dog games and money games, but you've set yourself up to play a bunch of decent games, high-level games in the example of a UConn in the non-conference. And then with that in mind, you have these opportunities in conference. Just if you go 500 in those opportunities in conference, I think you are minimum a top 4 seed.
Most impressed right now, they beat Clemson, second in the ACC, Villanova, third in the Big East. Going to ride those as the best wins?
Right now, to date?
To date. And then we'll see, like you said, there's 6 or 7 games coming up that.
Right. What are they? 5-2 in conference? So they still have 11 games. You play 18 this year, right? So they still have 11. So we're getting to the halfway point. Not quite there. Some teams I think are there, but they're not there yet. They will be next week, obviously, and see what you got there. But you've got, if you want a top 3 seed, you're going to have to minimally on all those games that I just mentioned go 500, and you're already 0-2. And last year they did that.
We'll see how they finish this out. Kansas coming up on Saturday afternoon, and we're going to talk with Matt Tate, who covers the Jayhawks. He's coming up at 9 o'clock, so we'll hear him in an hour.
I don't think there's any reason to be extremely discouraged because you've had 2 opportunities, one on the road, one at home, and you led by 9 before it fell apart, and you staged this furious rally. So if you're looking for some confidence to draw from there, they are there. There's enough evidence to think, we were just overhyped. Not yet. No, you may end up being it, but not yet. You may be able to draw some conclusions right now that, hey, this is a pretty good team. We just need to do this and this type of thing, that type of thing, and we'll be fine. And that's basically where I'm at. And Kevin Young proved last year that he knows how to get a team to get better as the season progresses. He's 1 for 1 in that area. It's not like he's got a 5 or 10 year history. He just doesn't. But still, what he did last year with that team, where it was and where it got to, was pretty impressive. So that leads me to believe that I have confidence in him being able to find ways to make this team get better, because that's what it's about.
I am curious if there are 3 teams at the top of college basketball that have pulled away. And BYU's played 2 of them, and that's 2 of their 3 losses. Arizona, UConn, Michigan. Are those 3 just better than everybody else? There's obviously a lot of other good teams, and BYU's going to see some of them.
Yeah, they might be right now, but
but the
maybe
test
it
is
ends
much.
up. Yeah, maybe those 3 make the Final Four, but I would bet against it because it's crazy with one.
Stuff happens.
Simply, if it was a 2 out of 3, maybe, but being just a 1, and literally that's it. Somebody sprains an ankle, somebody has a bad shooting night, and away you go.
DJ PK, he's one of the all-timers. How high is he on the list? Well, you just got to see him. We'll get to that next. Stay with us.